He's one of those cards that will have a poor first week, but don't sleep on Ajax, especially if you love the Affliction archetype. We'll get to why in just a bit, but first, who is Ajax? No, not that Ajax. Not this one either. This one. So let's go back to 1945 when the Weapon Plus program was created, a secret US government program whose focus is to create super soldiers. Sound familiar? Well, it was modeled after Project Rebirth, which of course gave us Captain America. So that phase is now considered Weapon 1. There have been several notable characters that have come out of the various weapon programs, including Weapon 6, Project Power, which gave us Luke Cage, Weapon 9, Project Psyche, which led to the creation of Typhoid Mary, and the 10th installment of the project, better known as Weapon X, which focused on triggering mutations and superpowers through genetic engineering. The most famous characters to come from the Weapon X project: Sabretooth, Deadpool, and Wolverine. Now, Francis, he was the enforcer in the workshop, a sort of hospice for failed super soldiers at the Weapon X project. Francis himself had been genetically modified. He was given enhanced strength, speed, and agility, but also his nerves were burned away so he does not feel any pain. So okay, he was supposed to be the enforcer for Weapon X failures when they stepped out of line, right? One of those guys that always stepped out of line? Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, thus starting their long hatred for each other. Ajax even started hunting down surviving members from the Weapon X project in order to get revenge on Deadpool. Deadpool ultimately puts an end to Ajax, but this is the comics. Ajax did return as Abyss Man for a bit to track down Deadpool and Thanos, but eventually got sent back to hell. In Marvel Snap, Ajax is a 5 energy, 7 power card with the ability Ongoing, +1 power for each card in play afflicted with negative power. So he's basically the Devil Dino of afflicted cards. Now, by afflicted with negative power, I'm going to assume red power values, just like how Gilgamesh counts increased power by counting the number of green power values on the board. Okay, Affliction archetype players, this is your big power slam. Now, it's important to note his power is ongoing, not on reveal, so you need to maintain the negativity on the board. You can't just play him and then Luke Cage after that, right? Ajax will lose his power. So okay, we obviously have synergy with Affliction cards like White Widow. Her Widow's Kiss isn't a -4 power card, it has -4 Affliction. Scorpion, Man-Thing, US Asian, all help to make Ajax bigger. The Affliction High Evo package of Wasp, Cyclops, Thing, Abomination now has another stat stake to play in Ajax. Typhoid Mary. Now usually you want to Luke Cage your Typhoid Mary, right? But if you live with the negative affliction on your side as well, Ajax gets even bigger. Same idea with Yellow Jacket. He's a free play, but he can give your Ajax +3 in a full lane that you've given up. And is the Debris Hazmat combo finally relevant? I'm actually excited to playtest that. Because once again, remember, Ajax gets buffed with Affliction on your side as well. So here's the idea, right? You junk up your opponent's lane, you take the Affliction either via Debris and Hazmat or Typhoid Mary, and then on turn 5, you drop Ajax, who's gonna be huge, right? Turn 6, you Mystique or Taskmaster Ajax to get his buff. With all that Affliction going on, you could be dropping a free Abomination too on turn 6 if you're playing a high Evo deck. So you either only afflict your opponent, which gives you a smaller Ajax, or you big brain math it out and give both sides of the board negative affliction to get a huge Ajax play on 5. So you're basically constantly asking yourself, is Ajax's potential power enough for me to take all this negative affliction on my side of the board as well? And because he's ongoing, there are interesting mind games to be played. So let's say you know your opponent's gonna Shang-Chi Ajax on 6. Well, you can play your own Luke Cage and drop him below 10 to duck the Shang-Chi. Conversely, if you keep Ajax below 10 before dropping that last turn Hazmat, he stays out of Shang-Chi range. Now, Ajax being ongoing makes him immune to Shadow King, but he's gonna get wrecked by Enchantress and Rogue. Look, it's gonna take time to figure out Ajax. His first week is gonna be rough because everyone is gonna be packing Luke Cage. But once the initial buzz dies down, I think Ajax can be a legit cube stealer but it'll take a fair bit of creative deck building. Ajax comes to the spotlight cache with Darkhawk, who saw a resurgence when Erisham was released, and I still think is a very good card, but outside of an Erisham meta, you can kind of skip him. And Beta Ray Bill, who, well, you can just skip him because the whole Asgardian package is kind of lacking right now.
Hey, is Ajax your actual name? Because it sounds suspiciously made up. What is it really? Kevin? Bruce?
I joke away. One thing that never survives this place is a sense of humor.
We'll see about that.
So unless you love the Affliction archetype, I'd hold off on spending tokens or keys, especially in the first few days of Ajax's release, cause